Okay, guys, another Play to Win series off my book called Play to Win Your Food Fight. Again, this is opportunity to pull pieces together to give you guys nuggets to help you to navigate through life and make choice that best fits you. This podcast show is brought to you by Midwest Dairy. So their big overall arching message is undeniably dairy. And what does undeniably dairy means? It means that all the products that comes from particular farms within the Midwest Dairy Council, they make sure they're providing not just nutrients, but great taste. They have great recipes. They have great stories on their website to help you to connect to some of those families that you understand who these farmers are. They're real people like we are. Once you connect with these farmers, I guarantee you will understand why they do what they do, and you can appreciate the care they do for their animals and their products. Go to dairygood.com and take a look at some recipes and take a look at some of those stories. Another great company that I support is Banner Roads, and that is a granola company. It is here in St. Louis. The chef she's actually is a chef, and she created her own product because she wanted to produce something that's good for the community and that does not compromise its grains. So all of her grains are organic. Not only does she create granolas, but she creates it in a unique way. I would say you combine savory with sweet, you're going to get those products out of her granola. She is really big on collaborating anywhere from turmeric to millet to blueberry, just different varieties of different granolas that I guarantee if you go to their website, you will see exactly what I mean. And I think you would be very, very pleased by their products. Wholesome foods. They don't compromise anything. Go to their website, take a look at their different varieties, and they also have gift sets. It's coming to that time of the year when you got birthdays coming up, so it'd be great time to give loved ones a healthy, tasty food. Go also to their Instagram account and just you will see how they kind of use those granolas in unique ways at Banner Road. Website, bannerroad.com, Instagram, Banner Road. Another great company that I work with here in St. Louis is called Sarah Food. It is the Uber of meal delivery. I call it the Uber because it's a platform where it connects the local shelves with families in St. Louis, where you can go online and select who you want to cook your foods and exactly what types of foods you want to cook. How much more customized can you get with that? They make sure they cater to all dietary needs. So once you go online, you will see the different varieties of ways that they can help you make the decisions for your health. First off, of you just want something more on the healthier end, or you have some sort of limitation or intolerances. Go to their website at sarahfood.com or follow them on Instagram at sarah_food. Oh, yeah, I don't want to forget, give you an opportunity for 20% off. If you go type in LOVE in capital letters, go ahead and take advantage of that while you're ordering those foods. Sarah Foods. So as we're moving into the topic of this particular podcast, it is called What Happens When You Procrastinate. Now, I use that a lot because when it comes to us making any decision in life, whether it's career, whether it's relationships, whether it's family decisions, when it's hard decisions, we tend to procrastinate. So when it comes to our nutrition or when it comes to our healthy eating, it sounds good, but the action of it sometimes feel overwhelming. So guess what we do? We kick the can. So the question is, why do we procrastinate? Like I just said, we have this preconceived idea of what it's going to look like, and it doesn't look fun. So guess what? We procrastinate. Or you know what? A lot of times we don't truly feel like we can really just do it. I've had a lot of people will tell me, Rashonda, I can start, but I can never finish it. So instead of taking that step, I'm just going to push it back to a better day. Or some people just don't know where to start. You get so bombarded with so many different information, so many different forms of information, whether it's your best friend or relative, something you see online, something you see on social media. It's like a whirlwind. You don't know where to start. So because of that, what do? We procrastinate. So from my experience, when I'm working with clients, the common phrase I always hear is, I don't have time and I'm just not motivated. Well, I would tell you when it comes to time would not open up for you. I would love to say, hey, there will be a time when you just have all the time in the world to prepare your meals, think about what you're going to do, and make those decisions. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. So if you allow yourself to let time be your limiting factor, you're going to never really take that next step. You have to carve out time. You have to make time. If I can just say it in simple terms, you will find time to do the things that you want to do, truly, without a doubt. So when it comes to making these choices, decide that you're going to make time, whether it's learning, whether it's preparing, whether it's just putting yourself in a position where you are in an environment that's going to be positive for you to make those steps. Make time. And again, the other thing is motivation. You're not always going to be motivated. Motivated, I call it your spark plug. It's to get things going. But motivation is not a constant. It's going to be times you just don't feel like selecting a salad or baking a chicken or grabbing an apple. But a lot of times, motivation cannot be your driver because motivation does not live. So you will have to separate yourself from being motivated and sometimes do it because you just know it's the best for your body. So not depending on motivation and not feeling like time is an issue, because those things won't ever change. And like I said earlier, it's never going to be a perfect time. We've heard it before, or you've said it to yourself, oh, I'll start after the holiday. Okay, nope. I'll start after the birthday. Okay, you know what? We're going on a big trip in the next month. Okay, I'm going to start right after the big trip. It's always going to be an ongoing event or occasion that's happening to where it's never going to be a perfect time. So don't wait for things to slow down, because it's not. You really have to jump in it in the midst of life, because that's what life is. Birthdays are always going to come. There's always going to be an occasion, and there's always going to be a vacation. So we can't navigate our food with life. We're always going to, again, push it back, because it's never going to be a perfect time. Number 2, don't get in your head. A lot of times we get in our head that we just can't do it. We don't have the money, or we don't have the resource, we don't have the knowledge, or we don't have the right people around us. Instead of creating reasons as to why you should not do it, start creating a reason as to why you should start. Don't tell yourself it's too hard. It's going to be difficult. No, it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, I think everyone would be in a position that they want to be as far as they help. It is going to be difficult, but start creating a reason as to why you want to start. It's definitely good reasons to do it, because your family, you want to be there for your family, or because you got some bad news from the doctor. Those are great reasons, but you really have to dig a little deeper and decide reasons that you want for yourself. Build your case of your reason as to why you want to make changes in your life. So that's what you're going to have to depend on to help you to actually get those wheels turning and not procrastinate any longer. The third thing is recognize this journey of change realistically. Again, we are bombarded with marketing where we can just have a couple of pills or have some procedure and we can just change the way we want to change. It's kind of like doing it with like blinders on. Like, you need to be aware of what's happening with you. Don't just try to forge forward because you're not paying attention to life around you. So be realistic in what this journey looks like. What it looks like, there's going to be layers to unravel. With any journey, think about a gravel road. There's going to be potholes, there's going to be rocks here and there, there's going to be bushes. It's going to be dry sometimes. The weather's going to change. That's what life is. And so when you think about your journey, realistically, it's going to be hard times. It's going to be obstacles. That's a part of the journey. But allow yourself to start using this journey to where you're peeling back layers as to who you are, why do you do what you do, and what things do you want for yourself. We can't just ignore it. We got to kind of like peel back the layers. And understand that this change happens it takes time, but appreciate it in real time. Again, it's one of those things that we learn if we pop a pill or we just dive into a diet, we close our eyes and just do the work, but we are not living in the moment. And when you're not living in the moment, you don't appreciate every step, every choice that you're making, every step that you're making. I'll tell clients all the time, they're like, Rashonda, thank you so much for helping me to increase my health, to lose the weight. And you know what I tell them? We've seen each other maybe 3 or 4 times, but every day, every hour, you are the one that's executing this. So understand that in real time, you are the one creating this change. I'm here to help you, but you are the one creating this change. So recognize everything that you're doing on this journey. Recognize every step you're taking on this journey. Recognize every rock that's in the way. You have to recognize it because that's a part of the path. Also, guess what? We're human. So know that you're human. We're not a robot. which means there's no definitive. There's no I'm either perfect or I'm not perfect. That's right or it's wrong. It's good or it's bad. It's not black and white. There's tons of gray area in this situation. So if you allow yourself to see there's a spectrum in this journey and you're human, you're going to make mistakes. You're supposed to make mistakes. But what do you do with mistakes? You learn from them and you find solutions. You don't grovel in your mistakes because that's not going to create a change. Recognize your mistakes, but then your next step is to find a solution so you won't have to repeat it so often. As you're going through this journey, recognize being human means it's not going to be perfect. It's just going to take practice, time, and progression. So I'm going to leave you guys with a couple of tips. It's called my Play to Win tips because I'm going to present you a common problem we all face. I got to give you solutions. So number one, change your tomorrow into now. Don't wait for the perfect time because the perfect time will never happen. Decide you're going to make the change now and make it in small steps. Number two, know that it's a learning process. It takes time to learn, right? Everything takes practice. Think about all the professions we endure. Doctors, lawyers, ministers, right? Doctors, they practice medicine. Lawyers, they practice law. Ministers, they practice religion, which means it's a continuing practice. But the more you practice, the more you get better at it, and the more you feel more comfortable with it, and the less harder it is. So know that this whole journey is a learning process. So take the time to learn about yourself and take the time to learn about what are your weak spots, what are your strong spots, so you can feel more easy in making this process long term. And last tip but not least, decide not to prolong what you really, really, really want for yourself. You have to realize that you deserve it. So first you have to realize you deserve it. And that's maybe the biggest piece right there, because a lot of times we really want things for ourselves, but we still sabotage ourselves because we don't truly deep down feel that we deserve it. But if you truly feel you want it, you have to realize that you deserve it. And if you deserve it, prove it. Prove it by making those small steps. Those small steps are going to turn into larger steps. Those larger steps are going to turn into a nice little trot. The trot is going to turn into a nice little jog. Everything is just in stepping. It takes steps and takes time. So decide that you really want this for yourself, and you're going to start making some sort of change to help you in the long run. So I hope those are some resonating messages, that there's something that you could have pulled out of this message that you know it has something you can connect to, but also provide you with some ways to execute this. Remember, I said there are always problems. There's problems everywhere. We can live in it, or we can decide to make solutions out of those problems. So that's what I'm here for. If you really feel like this spoke to you, and you know there are some family, friends, or some or members, that people that are around you that could really use a message like this, please hit the share button. Please cut and paste it, because that's the purpose of this podcast, is to help people figure out how to connect with themselves, love themselves by making changes in their relationship with food. We're going to give some shout outs to some local companies here in St. Louis. Has anyone ever heard of a company called Custom Foodscaping? And many of you may have said, no, I never heard of it. And I haven't either until I really learned about what they're all about. Custom Foodscaping is a company here in St. Louis that focuses on cities. And what they want to do is bring gardens to residential areas, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's institutions, because they want to help people to connect with their food and connect with their gardening. So they call it have the landscape and be able to eat it too. So transforming your regular space into something that's edible. I think it's a great double-edged sword, because you're able to have the aesthetics of it, but you're also be able to eat it. And it also just kind of helps you to appreciate what you're growing. So they're all about bringing that to the community here in St. Louis. Anywhere from consultation services to helping to create a design that best fits your space, to actually helping you with the installation. So honestly, it's like a 3-in-1. They're giving you everything you need to help get you going to create that space for yourself. Go to their website, learn more about their projects and some of their upcoming workshops at customfoodscaping.com, or follow them on Instagram at Custom Foodscaping. And they're also on Facebook too, so check them out on Facebook at Custom Foodscaping. Another company that's more on a regional scale is called Green Bean Delivery. I like to talk about Green Bean Delivery because you're thinking about green beans and delivery. Are they delivering green beans? No, they're not. There actually is a website for you to order your foods. So it's kind of like a grocery store on your phone or on your computer. Go to their website. You see several different categories that they put all the different foods in, and you select whatever kind of foods you want within those categories. Very simple, very easily done. They also don't charge a membership, so you don't have to subscribe and do like a monthly purchase. There aren't any hidden fees. Everything is pretty transparent. If you want to take a look at their website and take advantage of their services, go to their website and type in Better Vessel. That's BETTERVESSEL, and you would get 20% off your order. So I mean, it's kind of worth a shot. So if I were you, I would go to their website, take a look at their products, and try some of their things out. Go to the Instagram account as well at Green Me Delivery, and you would just really see some of the stories behind it and some of the products that they provide. Another unique company, or I would say industry, is the milling industry. So when I talk about milling industry, I talk about grains. One of the biggest and most respected ones in the Illinois area is called Janie's Mill. So basically they're a farm. Their saying is farm to mill to you. So what they are, they're a certified organic company, and they use regenerative products to making sure that all their products are just not only good for you, but they're also good for the planet. Their stone milling process is a way of crushing all of their grains in a slow way that preserves nutrients and flavor. Once I talked with the farmer and the mill manager, I got even more of an understanding of who they are and what they do and why. It is definitely worth trying their products out. They're a company that stands behind organic practices and goes against the grain, no pun intended, against conventional farming. So go to the websites, take a look at some of their products at janiesmill.com, or check them out on Instagram at janiesmill. So here you go, guys, another episode of the Dietitian Against Diets. See you guys next week.